Well, you guys asked for it, and now you're going to get it. Welcome back to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse Summer of Sleaze Special Edition, because a lot of people wanted me to cover water power. And the problem was, I only saw water power way back in the day, and there doesn't seem to be any intact prints of it floating around. Because the thing was about, I don't know, depending on what you look at, 71 to 86 minutes, and now the only version floating around is around 60 minutes, so begs to consider what was cut out of it. This was done in 1977 and was shot by Sean Costello. But Star Distributors, aka the Mob, New York City Mob, decided to put Gerard Damiano's name on it instead because it was more well known because of Deep Throat, Devil and Miss Jones and other stuff. There is a huge difference between the directorial styles of Sean Costello and Gerard Damiano, as you can tell. But anyway, going back to how this whole mess came about anyway, I was closing up the gas station around 11 o'clock at night when my friend Matt's cousin Victor pulls in and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to head over to the bar for a couple drinks." And he goes, "Hey, let's go into the city instead." So thing about Victor wasn't cheap, and usually when you went out with Victor, he bought. And if you went out with Victor and Matt would sit there and leech, because Matt didn't make a lot of money as a truck driver and pretty much was just a pot smoker and didn't drink that much. So me and Victor get into his Camaro and go over and park on 44th Street and go into Club 44. And who's at the bar but Big Al? And he waves us over, and I go, "What are you drinking?" And he goes, "Same thing you're going to be drinking in a minute, Black Russian." So we had this little game that we would order, you know, a bunch of us went out, we'd order one drink and stick with it all night, no matter how shitty it was. So yeah, we're sitting there shooting the shit, pounding down Black Russians. I think I got down about 5 of them, and I'm feeling no fucking pain. And this guy starts talking about this film he saw called Water Power. And Big Al goes, "Well, what do you mean? How, is it really fucked up?" And he goes, the guy goes, "They give chicks enemas." So we're sitting there, and, you know, we're pretty much out of it. You know, I don't know, it might have been Big Al, might have been Victor. Let's go check this out. I'm not exactly sure where it was playing, because like I said, you're going back to 77, right after the bicentennial. There's plenty of weed around now. The famine is over. It might have been the World, it might have been the Rialto, I'm not sure. But anyway, we stagger over to see this thing, and it's kind of weird. It starts out, it's Jamie Gillis is in it, and, you know, Gillis is really actually a good actor if you let him act. It's a shame because, you know, you look at what he did in porn. He could have been a premier heavy during the 70s and 80s, but hey, each to his own. Anyway, he's Bert. And Bert is walking around 42nd Street. You get shots of the porn stores. You get some shots of Show World in the background, whatever. And he goes to this brothel, and there's like an introductory thing with him for $10, or he gets $15 with Sharon Mitchell, which might have been one of her first films. She looks really young in this. And there's a nurse going into this room, and he's curious about this, and he gets to do a voyeur thing where basically Eric Roberts is a doctor, and Lily Marlene is a nurse, and they're given, first time on film, Long Gene Silver an enema. And I'll tell you right now that one of the big problems with this film even getting distributed is that Long Gene was definitely underage in this film, and probably Sharon was too. So anyway, they're basically giving her an enema, and Bert is enraptured by this whole thing. So now we see Bert go out and go into some porn stores and buy enema magazines. And he's infatuated with this chick he's spying on with a telescope. I don't remember her. It might have been Lynn Charisse. I don't know. Whatever her name was. But he's fascinated by her for whatever reason. So eventually he decides to act on his fantasies. He gets a gun, gets his equipment, and breaks into her apartment while she's taking a shower, and basically orally rapes her with the pistol to her head. Okay, that's kind of fucked up. But then he gives her the enema, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden the water turns brown, and Victor goes, "Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing?" I said, "Yeah, it's shit." Okay, this gets weird and creepy. Now there's a cop going after them, a male and female cop, and of course they have the obligatory straight sex scene with that. In the meantime, Bert is like stalking now two schoolgirls. I don't know who plays them. I think, oh God, Lisa Charisse or something? I'm not sure. There's a whole bunch of different people scattered around here. But anyway, he basically follows these two schoolgirls home and finds out that they're doing a little girl-girl action. Then he breaks in and, of course, holds a gun on them while he basically rapes them, puts them in the shower, ties them up, and starts giving them enemas. And again, a lot of brown water comes out. And we're like, okay, this is pretty fucked up. But our problem is we're fucked up too, and we're just too fucked up to get up and leave. So then it's like the cop wants to set herself up as a victim. And there's supposed to be a tell where if she gets picked up by this guy, she's going to drop her hanky. Well, her partner is occupied arguing with some drunk trying to get into the car. She drops the hanky and he loses track of her. Now, here's the weird part, continuity-wise. She just walks with Bert to her place while this guy, all of a sudden, this cop is driving around for miles and miles looking for her when she's right down the block. Well, she goes to change it to something more comfortable, and Bert rifles her purse and finds her badge, which he throws away, and her gun. And now he's got her with the gun, the badge, and the handcuffs, and he's paying him. He has to get rid of the bad humors in her. And that's what he's been trying to do. He flushes people out and gets rid of the bad humors. Okay, this is really fucked up. So he basically handcuffs her and has her in the bathtub, and we get another enema scene. And she is found by her partner, and we just see Bert wander off at the end, and there's some kind of disclaimer. But I couldn't make out the disclaimer because the copy I just got has like some German stuff over it. So anyway, that's the film. Weirdly enough, back, what the hell was this? I think it was 73. 1973, Sean Costello made another weird-ass film called Forced Entry with Harry Reams as a psycho Vietnam vet rapist murderer, which basically was a boner killer and didn't last that long. Strangely enough, Water Power hung around for a long time. And I guess it was probably the freak show motif that kept it up there. Because anything really fucking weird in New York back at that time would hang around for a while. And the weirder the better. I don't know what the attraction was with this whole thing. I mean, because Gillis basically plays a psychotic lunatic who's, well, basically, if these chicks don't do what he wants, he's going to fucking kill them. And like I said, this also proves that Gillis can act. So, like I said, this is a really weird type of scenario now because it seems that this film is one of those things that's completely lost now. The only intact print, like I said, is off some website with, has some really clear scenes and some really muddied scenes. But, the thing is, like I said, Gillis could really act, and it's just a shame that he never got into mainstream things. I think he could make a killing there. Like I said, this is one of those films, I was the guy who found the only, looks like, existing print of Forced Entry on 16mm off of eBay. I don't know if there's any intact prints of Water Power around or not. It seems like somebody trimmed one down to like 60-something minutes. I'm thinking what they made taken out was the straight sex scene to make the freak show motif a little bit more prevalent. But be that as it may, you got to remember, some of this stuff that was really fucked up hung around a long time, like Make Them Die Slowly, 10 weeks. I don't know how long Water Power lasted. All I know is I really didn't have that much of a memory about it. I was trying to get back to when I did see it and who I saw it with, and I finally came up with that whole thing. But as far as remembering what was going on, I really didn't remember that much. I remember the shower scene, and that was about it. Like I said, it's interspersed with a lot of shots of 42nd Street at night and the peep shows and Show World and other places. And, Gillis's creepy apartment where he's in there with a telescope and all this enema equipment and enema magazines and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely a weird, fucked up film. I doubt that it's ever going to be released because of all the shit that goes on with it and the people that are in it, which may or may not have been underage. But anyway, you guys wanted it, I delivered it. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Unfortunately, I missed this last time when I was given the the bad news about people who passed away, and one of them I missed was Shelley Duvall from Popeye and The Shining, who unfortunately passed away about a week or so ago. So rest in peace, Shelley. That's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side.